I don't mean to make it like a goal thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is where I see things going, and this is what I want, and that can change.
Mhm.
Like, so, and if it changes, and you're not willing to make a compromise on it,
Yeah.
from one party or another, like, does it make sense to keep going?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like, and does it make sense to keep going and be miserable?
Mhm.
Like, when I think about people that have got married young, and then
Child.
you get married 2021, and then by the time you're 25, you're like, you still have so much time left.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
do I stay in this for the next 50 years not being happy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, to me, I'm like, I don't want to be not joyful. I don't want to not be happy. I don't want to regret. I don't want to despise you. Like, when you could go. Welcome to
We Grown.
Question mark?
I'm Shaun.
I'm Moyo.
I'm Jess.
And first things first, what had you feeling grown?
What has had me feeling grown is I wear the same shoes to work every day that I have to go into the office.
Okay, boomer.
I know.
Comfort?
I know. Yes, because I have to walk from the garage to the building if I'm going in the office. So I'm not about to be trying to be cute and putting on heels, or even like some of the women who wear heels, they'll put on tennis shoes and then change. Like, I'm not doing all of that. Y'all gonna see these same tennis shoes with whatever dress, skirt, jeans. It don't matter what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the same shoes.
They flats.
They're tennis shoes. They're black tennis shoes.
You be in a whole suit.
Yes, very much yes.
Don't tell me
I will wear a dress and I will put on them same tennis shoes.
They better not be them the white New Balances that the old people be wearing.
No. They black. They're black.
Oh.
They're black.
New
I want to say
Balances?
Reeboks.
Oh, okay.
Or I don't know.
She probably
But
got
they're
them on
black
that
shoes.
sale. That Reebok sale.
Yeah,
No.
I think I did.
I got some shoes off the Reebok sale.
Yeah.
They
Me
hurt,
too.
but
Oh no, mines are very comfortable. I use them for my walk during lunch because I used to have, and I actually was cleaning out my I was cleaning out my desk when they came to put my standing desk in, and I was like pulling in. I was like, oh, I have change of shoes here because when I was young and vibrant, I
Not
used
young
to
and
come in
vibrant.
and change my shoes to like take my walks, and yeah, no.
and then they just became warm.
Now they're just so my change of shoes actually were always at work this whole time, but I will not be going back to that life. Y'all catch me in these same black shoes.
It's kind of crazy, but I can't even say nothing because this week when I went in, I wear the same black shoes that I be like, I want to be comfortable today. All black Hirashis, Nike Hirashi, whatever they call them, with my little inserts. Can't leave my inserts out. Need
No need.
inserts.
First of all, nobody sees me. You will only catch me walking to the bathroom because you can't go
Yeah.
anywhere. And then when everybody goes for their walk, everybody's wearing tennis shoes anyway.
That's fair.
So
And if you see
What's
me
the
in a
point?
meeting, you looking at me from this way up.
yeah, there's really no need. I don't know why anybody's
mean-
stressing and wearing heels still.
Kids wear pajamas to school now, so I guess it really don't
And
matter.
bonnets.
Like, that's allowed. It's in the dress code. I found that out in my street because they were like, "Why can't I wear my pajamas?" They're like, "You're not wearing pajamas to school. Crocs, pajamas, all of it.
Mm.
Crazy."
That's interesting.
I have desk Crocs. I do have those.
Crocs are actually very comfortable.
There's these shoes that people have been wearing. The like young ones at the school were wearing them. They look like the squishy peanuts.
Oh, them.
Things.
Yeah, I know what
And
you're
they
talking
like
about.
mad ugly. And they like slippers, but I stole some of them. One of the kids, I don't know, they were like fighting, and then like the slipper came off, and another one, and I was like, "Ooh, let me try these on."
Not let me try
I
these.
was like,
on.
slip right in. Get out of
Perfect
my shoes! I was
fit.
like, continue fighting. I was like, I'm walking on a cloud. Man. I give them back though.
The peanut
That
one?
might be my
Yeah.
next move then.
Yeah, they
Shoot.
like
Not the little balls?
No, they like $15 on Amazon.
Hmm.
16.
They probably the ones that that China like stole from Kanye. The little peanut looking ones.
Is possible.
He got some weird looking shoes.
I mean, but if they comfortable like that, then
It's worth it.
why
Yeah.
not?
Worth being ugly. It's
Comfort over
fine.
fashion.
Exactly.
Occasionally.
Period. Every day.
Sometimes.
Occasionally.
Every day for me. But yeah, that's what had me feeling grown.
It's a podcast, it's a video, and more.
Okay.
So today's topic is Chapter 10 of Marriage Be Hard by Melissa and Kevin Fredericks, and we're talking about divorce be hard. So in the chapter, Melissa talks about her experience with divorce through her parents and just kind of some of the polarizing topics of divorce, especially coming from like a churchy background where divorce wasn't necessarily something that, was allowed, I would say, or was more so frowned upon. And then you would, find people in the church encouraging people to stay together. And so they kind of take the time to explore again her childhood and her experience with divorce. Well, not necessarily her childhood, it was more so it happened in her adulthood, but the impacts of that on her own marriage and just how she and her husband kind of framed their minds around divorce and some of the ways that they have found to help themselves divorce proof their marriage. So we've read the chapter. Yes.
That sounds like we didn't read the chapter.
I read the chapter.
I read it way too many times. But what I want to ask you guys is, what was your understanding of marriage before you got married, and has it changed? So let's start there.
Yeah, I think this question came up because she talked about the shift from when she was younger, like maybe from 0 to maybe 10, she said, her parents would fight and they would have these explosive arguments and they would throw things. And then all of a sudden they found God and it was like God came and fixed their marriage and now they're the perfect marriage. And then another 15 years later, they're divorced. And she's like, what happened? Like, y'all were fine. Y'all were doing everything that I thought you needed to do to keep a marriage, healthy and happy. And I haven't witnessed a divorce personally or like seen my family go through divorce. So I don't know. I don't have an idea of like, oh yeah, all people get divorced, or which is what she was saying at one point too. Like, oh, my family that wasn't Christian, they're all divorced. So that's fine. But in the Christian setting, I don't know that even in my church, there are people who got divorced like that. So at least I don't know them personally. Like I know people who got divorced, came to church, and now they're remarried and they seem happy. I mean, that's the extent of it to me. So for my marriage, I always thought divorce is not a thing that we're even thinking about. Like we married. there's no way out of it. And that was something he talked about in the book too, but we can get into that later. And I think now I still think we will work through whatever and figure things out as long as it doesn't become a toxic environment. I don't think I'm gonna leave. Like there's no thought in my mind that I'm planning to leave or
no escape plan.
Yeah.
No way out.
Yeah.
Don't got it in your back pocket just in case.
No.
Okay, well.
Not at this moment. But it hasn't been that long, so.
Can you repeat the question for the audience?
Yes, I can. What was your understanding of marriage before you got married? Has it changed?
I guess my understanding of, it's, two people that have, I don't know, gone into this contract. They're going to be together for the rest of their lives. But that's also depending on what they communicate, because there are marriages that work, like you can have a monogamous relationship. There are marriages that work in an open relationship, and that's really just up to that relationship. So as long as there's some kind of communication going on between, that's really what it is. Marriage to me is communication. It's putting in work, it's effort to continuing that relationship. Very similar to friendships too, but marriage is, it's a little bit more deep than that. Because this is somebody that you're spending many hours, the time that you're not at work is the time that you're spending with your spouse, with your significant other. So it's definitely more than friendship, but it's definitely something that you just have to work on. It's communication, in growing, I guess, together. Has it changed since I've been married? No. I think communication is still like a really big part of being married. Like the more you communicate is the better your marriage gets. Because that's where I think so many issues in marriage happen. And even, communication can also lead to, like divorce. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like you can be divorced. That's perfectly fine. Like if you are two unhappy people, um, you have different wants, you have different needs, different desires. In my head, it doesn't make sense to continue. But if it's no communication between those two people, and then they're either faking it, they're just trying to continue, they're doing this because who knows what, and they don't know. They don't know why the other person's continuing. They don't know why they're continuing. There's an issue. I mean, but to me, divorce is not, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like it's something that people do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there for a reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the funny thing about that is I watched one of those YouTube series where they have to guess if the couple is married or divorced, and there was a young kid on there. He might have been 18 or 20 max, and they asked him, "Do you think divorce is losing?" And he was like, "Yeah, like you lost, you lost that marriage." But he was like, "But I'm only 20, like nobody attacked me." So yeah, that's interesting that you would say that it's not bad per se.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
like
fair.
my parents got divorced recently. I mean, they've been separated for a long time, but they got divorced. My mom and my dad talk on the phone like every day. Like, and it's not, it's just they still have a relationship. They were in a relationship for, longer than I've been alive. So it's something they still communicate. They still have that. They just had different wants, needs, desires. So then they separate it. And it doesn't have to be, like I guess when people think of divorce, it's always ugly. It's
Yeah.
nasty. It's the worst thing ever. And it doesn't have to be. Divorce can be a peaceful separation of people. And sometimes that is needed. Like it just does, to me in my head, it just doesn't make sense to continue a relationship. Like you don't continue a friendship that you're unhappy in.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
whatsoever. Like you are allowed to be happy. And I think that in the book it made it seem like I guess church oftentimes can make you feel like you can't do that. Because it's
Yes.
like you've entered this contract, you've entered this.
Yeah.
This is what you need to be doing for the rest of your life. And it's like, do I not get to be happy anymore? Like, does that mean I have to suffer? I have to be just here? Like, and I don't think that's fair to anybody.
Yeah. I get that. I think, well, let me start with growing up, my mom would always say marriage is a lifetime commitment to an imperfect person. And so I think I've always had that perspective when it came to marriage. But let's also add in the lens of like seeing and or witnessing, being around, whatever you want to call it, just a lot of like violence, like emotional, physical, financial, like just abuse in those relationships too. So I think that was some of the reasons why I kind of was just like, I'm good if I never get married. And it was just a lot of women in my family that went through that, and it was kind of like normalized. And so I think I just internalized it a little bit as far as like, well, if marriage is commitment to an imperfect person, and then this imperfect person is also going to exert some kind of power over me, I'm good. you know? And it was just kind of like what we talked about episodes before, where it was just like you just had to find the right person. It just needed to be the right person. So I think before, like, I understood what marriage was, but because I had that lens of like, this is what can go on behind closed doors. This is what people don't see. And, some of those people stayed and some of those people didn't stay together. But it was the fact that that shouldn't have been something you have to endure, in my opinion, and that goes kind of along with that happiness. And I'm a little weary of like, do what makes you happy. I'm more of a what brings you joy, because happiness can be fleeting sometimes. But like, what is that spark for you? Like, what is that thing that keeps you going? Like, it's like chasing that like dopamine. Chasing that dopamine is what I think of when I think of like what makes me happy, where it's like you're not always going to get that dopamine hit, and you shouldn't always get that dopamine hit, because then you build a tolerance, and then you're like looking for the next one and the next one. So for me, it's like, where do you find peace? Where do you find joy? What brings you joy? Like, what helps you maintain that safety and that feeling of like, this is what I want out of life. It doesn't have to be all of these different things, but who is a person that I can build that with? And I think also considering like they also have, their own stuff that they come with. What are you, going to be willing to take from them that they're bringing, being an imperfect person? And are you guys going to have that communication as you're growing? Because you're both not going to be the same person you were when you first got married. You're growing as people. New things come up, new challenges, new, accomplishments. So can you grow together? Can you maintain that communication? And I think that's, to your point, like, divorce can be happy when you both grew in a great way.
Yeah,
but
can
it
grow
just
apart.
yeah
I mean, you can have, this is where I want. I mean, just, I don't mean to make it like a goal thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
This is where I see things going, and this is what I want, and that can change.
Mhm.
Like, so, and if it changes, and you're not willing to make a compromise on it,
Yeah.
from one party or another, like, does it make sense to keep going?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like, and does it make sense to keep going and be miserable?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when, I think about people that have got married young, and then
Child.
you get married 2021, and then by the time you're, 25, you're like, you still have so much time left.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
do I stay in this for the next 50 years not being happy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, to me, I'm like, I don't want to be not joyful. I don't want to not be happy. I don't want to regret. I don't want to despise you. Like, when you could go.
Or, yeah.
I mean, and you could even
Yeah.
have a friendship afterwards. It
Yeah,
might just
yeah.
not be a thing that you
Yeah.
want.
You're
Like, I don't know.
dissolving
Yeah.
you're dissolving a legal agreement. I think that's when you kind of have to kind of make that separation of like, especially if you're not religious, like it's an agreement. Like if
Yeah.
you don't have a faith that is built, or that well, let me not say that. If your marriage is not built with a faith around it, or something else that's like telling you how to do this, like no other overarching like, institution, then it's just an agreement. And agreements need to be amended, and sometimes they need to be broken. Like, it just is what it is. And I think that's politically that's the issue that we're having in this country, is like, people are like, marriage is this, marriage is this, marriage is this. I'm like, yeah, if you subscribe to a Christian religion,
yeah.
like, outside of that, it's an agreement. Like, legally, it's an agreement that helps people be there for their loved one when something is going on. You can provide financially, you can recover financially from stuff, you can be present when somebody is going through something in a hospital, because you have that right legally because of this piece of paper that's an agreement that we are together. Like, it just makes more sense when you think of it from the perspective of, in the eyes of the government, it's an agreement.
Yeah.
It's a binding agreement. In the eyes of God, if you subscribe to Christian religion, it's a very serious legal agreement again, But yeah.
Yeah, I think even when we talk about the Christian aspect of it, there are so many examples of people in the Bible who just, they didn't do marriage in a traditional way.
That's
And
real.
so when we're trying to force ourselves to be in this box and not really think about, this is a me and you thing,
Mhm.
me, you, and God,
Mhm.
and how are we going to move forward? So there are people who are now, I don't know, Christianity and religion is a thing where everybody has their own interpretation, and things are not black and white the way we would want it to be.
Yeah.
Like, I want God to be like, hey, X, Y, and Z. And people are like, well, he did. And he's like, did he though? Because the same people who are telling you this is how it is are now doing
that exact
same thing they're telling you not to do.
Yeah.
Or even people in the Bible who are considered like the pillars in the Bible.
Bruh.
to me, I would be like,
dirty.
Yeah, I'd be like, why are you getting chosen?
Yeah.
And why is your story being put in here about all the negative or the bad things that you did as well?
Yeah.
So I think we should hold ourselves to a high standard, but we shouldn't feel guilty if you end up getting divorced.
Yeah.
Like, that's a you and God thing. If you have prayed about it and you have talked to God and you're like, I'm not happy here, I don't know why I did this, like, get me out of this.
Yeah.
And he gave us divorce.
Yeah.
Divorce is in the Bible. It says these are the things that you can get divorced for.
Mhm.
And it might not specifically say you are unhappy, but if you feel like you want to kill yourself because you're with this person, do you think God wants you to stay there?
Like, for real.
I don't think so, but
Right.
everybody's idea of God is different. So
That's true.
it's really a personal thing.
Yeah.
As for me and my house,
Come on.
we are not planning to be divorced. But
Yeah.
if 10 years from now things aren't working out, then things aren't working out. Like, mind your business.
Do you think people plan to be divorced?
I don't think that's what I'm saying. I don't think people plan to be, but that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I
If
guess
10
if
years
you-
from now things change for me, then that's a me thing. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I don't know what other people are doing. I don't know what's in your household.
Sign this prenup.
A lot of
yeah,
my
that.
friends say you should do that. A lot of my friends who, especially those who are lawyers, say you should do that.
Sign a
And
prenup.
yes, I did not. And I don't believe we will be doing a postnup. I think we have, and they would so criticize me for saying, like, I think we would be okay. It's like, if you ain't got it, write it. But it's interesting, and also because we're so new, like, I feel like I can't really like speak fully into like, oh yeah, da, 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 like, either way. I know we did have our own commitment to each other of like, okay, divorce is a reality, but it's not an option for us. Like, we acknowledge that it's there. We're not acknowledging like, oh, it doesn't exist, but we're like, no, we're gonna try to work it out at all costs. And like, again, it goes back to that communication that you were talking about. Like, it really honestly is communication. And we built our marriage in a way where we weren't considering divorce. So like, our household is just both of us intertwined as much as possible. Like, as much oneness as we can do, that's what we do. And we try to have that transparency and that vulnerability with each other to keep our relationship strong and to keep working to divorce proof, our marriage and our family.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen someone that's been divorced and like a change in how they are? So like, I have a family member that has been married and divorced, and I used to not like them at all.
When
Like,
they
I
were
was-
married?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
like, you are so mean. Like, why are you here?
Dang.
Like, you are the meanest person that I know.
Mm.
And I would just be like, I don't want to deal with you. And then, like, divorce happened, remarriages happened, and I was like, oh shoot, like, you are not.
As bad as you thought
Yeah,
you
like,
were.
I thought
Dang.
you were horrible before.
Dang.
And you're actually not bad. Like, I don't mind you. So
The circumstances.
yeah,
Mhm.
so it's just so crazy how that can affect not only you. I mean, like, but that joint like was radiating out. I was just like, well, no, like, don't come around because I don't want to deal with it.
Mhm.
I mean, that was me as a kid, but I can only imagine how it would be as an adult.
Yeah.
So it's just so wild. So do y'all
Yeah.
have like an experience with that as well? Question mark? Maybe not.
I don't, but I think for friendships, I've seen it
Mm.
where you see how people interact with certain groups of friends, and you're like, maybe me and you wouldn't gel, and then they might let go of those people, and they're like, oh, so it wasn't you. I mean, it was you, but like,
So you weren't the problem.
yeah. So I've seen it in friendships, and also the other way, because sometimes you'll see, oh, this is a great person when they're with this
Mhm.
crowd, but when you're one-on-one with them, you're like, oh,
Like,
nah.
where'd I go?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I could see how it would be a thing for divorce, because if she's going home every day miserable, it's gonna come out some
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of way.
Did I say
Everybody
shit?
gonna get a
Oh,
taste.
I mean, I just assumed.
Everybody getting a taste of her.
I was just wondering,
They,
did I say
them.
she?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think you
know.
did.
No, I
I
was
think it was
trying
just
real
an
hard.
assumption.
I was trying real hard. They.
They, them. Sorry. Hopefully they don't watch this.
Whoever you may be.
Yes.
They.
Just bleep that out.
And redacted.
No, it's okay. Like, I was just wondering because
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
did I say she? Did I say he?
I
Yeah,
Did
don't
I
actually
say we?
remember, but the story
I don't think
sounded
you
like a
did.
woman, so I went
Oh.
with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could have been a man. I could also see it being a man too, though. Or a non-binary person.
You never know.
You never know.
The story continues.
Gosh. So, I have seen people, I think in both situations, where they've been divorced and they're better, happier. And I've seen people who've been divorced and, ugh, it's just like, ugh. I really want to be here to support you, but like your energy is just not what I can deal with. But I've also, again, going back to like my experience, like I think for some it's there's also that transition too. Like if someone was enabling like very bad habits and you get divorced and then, you separate from that person, and then that person who was enabling you now have to like learn how to function on your own and like, do better. In those situations, I'm always all for it. I'm always all for it. Like, and then I'm always all for being community around people who may be going through it as much as I can, if I have the bandwidth for it, if I have the emotional capacity for it. Because it is a hard transition. Like it's not always fun. Even if, it's amicable, it's still an adjustment. It's still a change. And like, if you can have something that's somewhat solid and somewhat helpful through something like that, I prefer to be that if I can to somebody, But yeah, I think I've definitely seen both ends where people have been just like, all right, let me come out and be, just everything, everywhere. Oh, I'm friendly. I'm here. I'm there. I do all of the things. And then people who are just like, I hate everybody. I don't trust them. I don't trust this. I don't like this. Like, okay. All right. The world is gray and black. I get it. All right.
Still processing.
Yeah.
Trying to deal with emotions and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think your parents are a reference for how you move in your marriage?
There are aspects of my parents' marriage that I like, and that I take away into my own marriage. And then there are aspects of my parents' marriage that I didn't like, that I don't include in my marriage. As a kid, I loved watching my parents cook together. That was always something that I just like. I just can't wait till I'm with someone and we can cook together. And I swear, me and John, we are smooth criminals in the kitchen. Like I love, he goes one way, I'm like spin, like dodge, like ha ha ha. Like I do something, turn on the stove, like tick 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 tick, fire, and then John comes by, salt, and I'm like perfect. Like. Have you ever tried to cook with somebody that's not your spouse, and then you're like, "What are you doing?"
Like,
I
get
don't
out,
like cook with
move.
my spouse.
Oh, well, sorry. It is a pleasurable experience.
It's not for me. I think I don't like cooking with anybody though.
I don't
That's
like
fair.
cooking with anyone but John.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, even John be annoying me because sometimes, when I'm doing something and he like,
Why are you doing that?
or he might come in like I dislike. I might be going, let me go turn on this extractor real quick, and I'm like low, and he's like, it's medium, and I'm like, I was getting there. I was warming it up, but besides that,
So it has to be a joint effort
Yes.
going into it.
Yes.
It can't be
Like,
one
don't-
initiate and then
don't
the
come
other
downstairs and then be like, boop. I'm like, I was there.
Okay, that might be harsh because my husband's gonna be like, "You don't like cooking with me?" Okay, I don't like cooking with people. Like the way you're describing, where you guys are just flowing and
And
doing things
dancing and
together. Yeah, I
a
like
dancer.
you go do this while I'm
Oh,
doing this.
no, you dictating.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
type of cooking together.
That makes
I do.
sense.
Yeah. I'm
That
the
makes
chef.
sense.
You
I
the
can't do
sous
you
chef.
in my way. I need you to be where I need you to be.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I like cooking with John, because I feel like we just know
Yeah.
where to be versus like cooking with someone else and you're like, move.
Yeah, no, it's always move for me.
It's always move for me.
That's my issue. So I usually like to cook by myself, and with my husband, the rare occasions he cooks.
Ooh.
Okay, the rare occasions he cooks, he always wants me to help, and I'm just like, I don't want to. Like, this is my day to relax and not cook, so why would I help? But yeah, that's the only reason. Like, that sounds great, but
Would y'all do a cooking class?
yeah.
Maybe we should do that as one
I
of our
thought about it.
events.
There's
Couples
a-
cooking, or not couples cooking class. What's our group called now?
I forgot.
Outings and something
Yeah.
cooking class.
Something like
Blah
that.
blah blah.
Outings group.
I
Yeah.
changed
Yes.
it because
Oh, I don't even look. Okay. I'll be in
Yeah,
there.
I saw the name change, but I was like,
Yeah.
cool. So let's try that out.
Okay. I know
Yeah,
a
yeah,
place in Virginia.
Now we gotta travel.
Virginia.
Oh no.
You
girl.
want to do
You
it in
trying
the
to do it in the
house?
house?
Oh,
Virtual?
shoot, no, not that either.
Oh.
Girl,
Where you trying
Virginia,
to
you the
go?
only one close to Virginia.
No, it's 2 people close to Virginia
I
now.
guess.
Mhm.
I guess it's
Technically.
actually multiple people close to Virginia
Not
now.
bad.
Yeah,
But-
not me either, but
But it's nice. And there's a lot of stuff to do there outside of the cooking class. But we'll look into it because there's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
one in Baltimore and we can compare prices. But anyway, we don't mind cooking together if it's a joint effort. And I also am similar where I don't like people being in the kitchen when I'm cooking. But I do have like very few friends, all of maybe 2. I could maybe max out at 3 that I would like enjoy cooking with. Like, literally did that with one of my friends on Sunday. Like, because that's always been our thing. Was just we cook together. Like, whenever we're around, we cook together. Like, that's always been our thing. But going back to the original question, do you think your parents are a reference for how you move in
Oh,
your
shoot.
marriage?
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're fine. I would say yes for both of us because we went through premarital counseling, and so we had to like talk about all of that stuff. And so I think we both have gathered our lessons learned from, kind of like the mistakes or the things that we didn't like in our parents' marriage, and then also the things that we wanted to carry forward. I think it just makes the most sense that would be your frame of reference for you going into marriage.
Mhm.
I do remember saying like when I was at I guess when I first was getting back into church, I saw like more marriages that I was just like, oh, so this is what, like a marriage could look like. Oh, okay. Like maybe I could be down with this idea a little more,
Dabble.
I could, maybe dip my toe in the water. Let's see. And then, reality hits you because
Ooh.
people be trash. But, but no, I think it just makes the most sense that your parents would serve as like your first reference. And one of the things I really love that my parents would do, would be just working together, like housework or house projects. Like my dad is very big on DIY. I think my mom is by force now. But I think she also gets some joy out of it because she also just likes finding different projects to do. And then my dad is like, great, thanks for the challenge. I'll, figure out a way to do this. And then they'll both like work together to get it done. I really love that. My husband is not very much a handy person. So it's not really an option. Well, I won't say it's not an option for us, but we both have to be on the same page because his mind works in I need to know the rules, the layout, the end product, the steps in between. Like he needs to know the information ahead of time to prepare because he doesn't like, I think, feeling unprepared and just kind of winging it. He's like, nah, let me sit here. Let me think about it. Let me think it through. Let me plan. And then let's execute. And I'm more of a like, okay, I have the general idea. I have my outline. let's go. Trust me.
I'm so there with you. Right there with you.
I think it's the ADHD where it's just like, new project, exciting, great. I know enough to get started.
So we were at like Home Depot the other day, and I was like, I'm gonna build some stairs. And John was like, do you know what you're doing? I was like, nah, but I got this piece of wood and I'm ready to go.
Yes.
And he's like, okay,
Sounds
so
like
how
me
about
and
we take a
Ronald.
step back?
Mhm.
I was like, you're such a joy kill. I was like, I was so ready.
Try not to have you falling through these.
Yeah, I
big
definitely
black
would have
stairs.
like would have been all through them. So thanks.
Yeah. My YouTube right now is so many house DIY projects. Please believe I know how to lay some cement now. So, of course, that's one of my projects. Where was I? Oh, yes. I can relate because Ronald is definitely John in that situation where he's like, so did you think this all the way through? And I'm like, doesn't matter. I know enough.
Right.
Let's buy all the things. Let's open this. Take pictures. I need to know the measurements. Barely, though.
Right. I'm so for it.
Yeah. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So the question was, are
Your parents a reference?
Reference, yeah. I think I've actually talked about this in one of the episodes, but yes, my parents are definitely a reference. The only thing is, they were very private in the way they handled certain things, so I don't know the full picture. I just knew what I could see. And the thing that I like most about them was that they pretty much did everything together, and I like that. I like that, like, clinginess, but like we're clingy, but we're not clingy. I don't know. It sounds weird because I'm
No, it
clingy,
makes
but
sense.
I'm like, I don't want you on me, but I want you with me.
Mhm.
So
We the
but,
same way.
yeah. So
Like-
that's how I like that. Even though my parents were clingy. Like, this is a funny thing. When I was younger, I would like lay with my mom, and as soon as my dad would come down, she'd be like, "Move, my husband." And I'm like, "Dang, girl." And so
Not
I
you
can't
rolling
wait.
off the bed.
I can't wait to be able to do that to my kids.
I can't.
Right now they're little, so we should let them, squeeze in. But one day, I'll be like, "Get out of here! My husband is here." But yeah, it was usually on the couch, so it wasn't enough
Dang,
space.
that's even worse.
it
The
wasn't.
doom.
It wasn't enough space
It's
for
only a
me.
foot drop.
Yeah.
Hits the floor. Dang.
But yeah, I
Okay.
used to always feel like, dang, I thought we were having a moment, but nah, for me,
Nah,
was
girl.
there.
You're just warming the spot up.
Apparently. But yeah, I like that energy. Like, it's us. Like,
Yeah.
F them kids. But yeah.
I was thinking about that white chick's scene where she move.
Oh, mine was from Insecure.
Yes.
Man, that's just,
Yeah.
very interesting. I mean, yeah, I love how we can now take like pieces from.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be
Even
able to.
the good and the bad. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that the bad was just so terrible. It's just, okay, I learned from that. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I don't want, or this is what I'm gonna do to not, be that way or have that happen.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah. Oh, so something that they talked about in the book to kind of explain what possibly can occasionally contribute to divorce is the different types of love. So she referenced eros love, which is like, that erotic, like that desire, that like fire, kind of love
Fleshly
that
love.
yeah, like the love that is just like the sparks are there, it's magical, all of that. That's like the eros love. And then there's also phileo love.
Oh, these are words
These
I
are
don't
words.
remember.
You had the book. You don't have
Yeah,
the
it's right
audio.
there.
Fair enough. But the phileo love, because we listened to audiobook, but the phileo love is like the love that is like that friendship. Like, it's the platonic kind of like stable foundational kind of love. And so she was saying, like, occasionally what can happen, or what you would see happening, is people focus so much on that eros love, and that was kind of what I was alluding to when I mean like happiness, like always looking for that happiness, always looking for that dopamine hit, versus like that making sure that you have that joy, which I would equate to like the phileo love, like that friendship love, that unconditional love. Like, that's really what should be at the root of like a marriage, of a friendship, is that unconditional love. And like, if you're not communicating, you can't really build on that. Like, you can have all of the sparks and the fireworks from, mystery or surprise or suspense or whatever, but the day to day, like, that's how you build that phileo love. And so they kind of give like, sorry, I had a burp. Excuse me. Take that out.
Yeah, I was just gonna leave it in.
I'm sure. I've been seeing.
Sometimes I just don't. But anyways, your fillet of fish.
Give me that fillet of fish. Give me that
Every
fish.
time you say it, I chuckle like
Fillet. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like Philadelphia.
Yeah.
that helps.
And Theophilus. No. Theophilus.
Fillet of fish.
Theophilus. Like the name Theophilus. Phileo is in Theophilus.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. That's why I really love that name. Anyway,
You burped.
and then I was talking. Well, thanks for bringing it back up again.
Oh, I was trying to jog your memory.
Yeah. But anyway, I was saying like they bring up different ways to kind of keep the Eros love going, but also some of the things that they were saying like you can do to kind of help with the philea love or the friendship love. And I think for me, the one thing that stood out with the Eros love was she's like, yeah, y'all should go out on dates, get dressed up, go out places, da da da. And it's just like, I think for us, I love that my husband sometimes plans like these little surprise dates, and I'm like, give me any opportunity to eat you up. Like, I will do it. I will dress up.
I didn't know what you up meant. I was like,
Especially what was going on in my head.
not eat you up.
Yes, because I think that's always been a thing for us, like, especially because of the pandemic, like, because we didn't see each other as much. So when we would try to like go out, he would decide what he's gonna wear, and I'm gonna decide what I'm gonna wear, and I'm like, I'm gonna make sure I look better. And so he's like, okay, I'm gonna match your energy, kind of thing. So that's what I mean, like, give me any opportunity to eat you up, and I'm gonna do it. And so,
Okay. That's
So,
not
yeah.
what the young people are saying, I'm sure.
girl, you
They
ate.
do.
They do.
They do. It's
You-
Like that, though?
They say it like, oh, they ate that.
Yeah, exactly.
But do they say eat you up?
I don't know about that, but
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, I ate her up.
Please let us know if this is used correctly because I'm not here.
Whatever.
I don't know. You could be right.
I am right because I be on Twitter.
You could be right.
should
but
be on Twitter eating
eat
them
you
up.
Eat you up don't sound right to me. I've heard 8. I've heard that.
That's
one.
you eat up. You don't eat out. That's the difference.
Okay.
And I feel like that's where your mind goes when you think of
Listen,
eat.
I'm old. I don't know what y'all talking
Back
about.
in my day, eat mean one thing.
Only one thing. Okay.
Moyo said, I ain't eating anybody.
Literally. What we eating?
She's like, put that on the record. I ain't eating it.
I can't. Anyway.
There's gonna be a lot
Anyway.
of editing in this
Oh
video.
no, that's on the stay.
But yes, I really love dressing up. I enjoy being able to do my makeup and like we go out somewhere. Even if it's just like something simple, like especially if we go on vacation, we be coordinating our outfits. We be
Y'all one of them.
coordinating.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. That's that. They knew.
I'm one of them too, though.
I know. Y'all be
Have you not seen them?
I
And they
know, but
don't
they're
don't
little-
start. Have y'all not seen them?
with their shirts.
First of all, I don't hate.
Nobody hate it.
You hate it.
My wife,
Sound like-
my husband. Like,
Listen,
okay, y'all.
Like,
shoot. And you can't
Daddy,
talk.
mama.
You can't talk. Y'all be coordinated too. So
We do. We coordinate even to go to the airport. Adidas down.
We coordinate go to the airport too. Shoot.
Y'all gonna know who I'm with.
If I get lost, you know how to
You know who I belong to.
Shoot, I try to be like, you seen that? There's a photo of they're not well, they somebody grandparents, the 2 old people that are matching, and it's like if lost, find so and so, and it's like I'm so and so.
Okay. That's what y'all trying to be. Okay.
That's crazy.
My kids be matching too. It's funny because
That's cute though.
at Christmas time.
rude.
Listen, at Christmas time, my brother's girlfriend was like, "Oh, how did your family dress for Christmas?" Asking my other. Start over. At Christmas time, my brother's girlfriend asked him like, "How should I dress for y'all Christmas dinner?" And he was like, "Ain't no dress code. Moya and her family gonna be matching. Oya and his family gonna look like this, and my dad's gonna be wearing this." And then she walked in and she was like, "That's crazy." And I was like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "He literally said what y'all were gonna be doing, and y'all are all doing it." And I was like, he was like, "Y'all were gonna be matching," and I was like, "And we are."
And then
Here we are.
But yeah, I was
Okay.
like, "There's standards." That's why when my brother didn't dress up to his baby shower, I was like, "What are you doing? Like, you always dress up to literally everything. Why are you not
That's
dressed
fair.
up?" But yeah, there's dress codes, and we gonna stick to what we do.
Y'all do y'all. Y'all dress to go to the airport.
I mean, it'd be comfortable clothes, but we gonna match.
Yeah, it could be matching sweatsuits. It's fine.
Okay.
And shoes.
All right.
Yes. I just bought another pair to match his pair.
If my kids didn't grow so fast, they would be matching too. But I'm not about to buy them whole sweatsuits for them to grow out in the next second.
Okay.
Shaun is like, "Y'all got it. I don't know how we still talk about this." Anyways, I don't remember what we were talking about.
I don't know what we were talking about either. I'm just
Just
picturing y'all
the
in
like
these
the different
matching
ways that you can like keep your relationship like
spicy.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
up.
Yeah, because I be eating people up, and my husband be like, "I'm gonna match your energy," and when we just step out, we step out. Period.
Period.
So what else?
Oh.
What else do you do to keep that?
Keep the spice.
Yeah.
So, with those things in mind, what do you do to keep the spice, but also keep the friendship alive?
That's a great question. I'm not really sure. I mean, we like to eat, so we try a lot of foods. Then there's like I guess like unconventional stuff, like something we haven't done yet, but we have. Like John bought me a flower Lego set that's like 800 pieces. So we're gonna work together.
He
to
got
do
you the
that.
Janine gift.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. One's an orchid, and then the other one are succulents. So
Come
that
on,
was
big money, because I looked that thing up. I was like, "Ooh, dang."
who you telling? They are pricey, but that is on our agenda. I mean, we do have like puzzles and stuff. Yeah.
We do our normal date nights. I've challenged him though to try to. What?
I'm sorry. I thought about when you said on one of the previous episodes how like you and Remarcus like during the quarantine y'all were like, oh, we're gonna do like this massage thing, and y'all gave each other massages. So then me and John were like, yeah, we're gonna do that. So then I set up like I have like a little diffuser, so I had like put the little oil in there, and it was like, yeah. So it was like, oh, the massage, and John was like, something ain't right. I was like, he turned over and it was like nosebleed. He was like, what scent did you use? And I was like, I don't know, one of these. He's like, oh, I think I'm allergic to that. I was like,
Not allergic.
Not the nosebleed.
and I was like, that's his learn.
Tragic.
That's terrible.
That's a tragic way to learn.
I'm gonna remove that one, but it just reminded me of that.
Tragic.
Sorry, go ahead, continue now.
So Remarcus and I, we do our normal date nights. Well, we try to keep up with it. Sometimes we don't end up doing it, but we've been trying to stay on top of it and do better. But I have challenged him to do like plan one, like sit down and plan a whole thing where we're doing an activity and it's not food related, because normally we collaborate, and I'm like, I don't want to collaborate. I want you to take me somewhere. So that's what
Amen.
he's planning that. The last time though, the day he was supposed to do it when we were going to be off, what was the last holiday? Some holiday that just passed. I just didn't feel comfortable leaving the house that day, so it didn't happen. So that was my fault. He said he had stuff planned. So yeah, that was my fault. But yeah, we try to keep up with that. Massages are good. We haven't done that in a while though. I might bring that back. I think I said that the last time we recorded that we were gonna bring that back.
No worry, it was the episode before this.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, we try to do little things to keep things spicy. I told y'all about the game we play. There's that. I think we talked about that in the sex episode. I think I said everything though. Date nights, massages, bringing back him coordinating date nights. Yeah, just doing things that are away from our kids, and like I said before, focusing on each other and what we like and what we don't like, and that's pretty much it.
What about you?
I think we do. He does plan like good dates. I think like one of the last ones he planned was like a movie night. I just thought it was gonna be a regular movie night. And it was actually like a lot of fun. Like we went to one that actually had like they bring the food out to you. You can order throughout the movie. We got there early, and like because it's like a fancy theater, like they don't show like regular previews. So we were seeing one of the Marvel movies, and so they were showing previews that was like catering to the nerdiness in both of us, where it's just like, oh, here's some background to this part of the Marvel series or this comic book and this character and this character. So it was just like really nice to like go to something like that versus like, oh, we're just gonna head down the street and go to the movie theater and go see the movie kind of thing. So I really enjoyed that. Also, he likes to shop, which I don't mind. So when we do our shopping dates, those are always fun. We always try to make sure we, eat, even if it's something simple as like eating at our favorite restaurant. And I love the fact that he's open to like different restaurants too. I think we should plan a vacation together, like a mini staycation vacation kind of thing again. So that's something I'm hoping for, looking forward to. Keeping the spice. I mean, we're still new, so I feel like
it's still spicy.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I think we mix it up because it's like we invest in different things to help like make our sex more, I don't know, different, I guess. Like, try a little something here, try a little something there. We even have like just times where we're just exploring, and it's like, oh, there's no pressure of like, oh, it's just, just sexy time kind of thing. It's just like, oh, let's find out. Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? Like, and I think for us, that kind of builds the friendship and the erotic love, eros love. Like, just having moments where it's not pressure of like, oh, I gotta make you come, like, oh, well, let's just see if you like this in another video. I did. I said it in the sex episode. But like, I feel like that's what everybody thinks because that's what media puts forward of like, even in porn, like that's always the goal is for somebody to like orgasm and spray all over the place. And I'm like, that's not always what sex has to be about. Like sometimes it's just literally exploring the other person, what they like, what they don't like. And so like having moments where it's like there's no pressure of like orgasm, but just I really want to connect with you and find out like what you like and what I like. And yeah, I really enjoy that about us. Like there's not that pressure. Sorry, husband, if you don't want me to tell this, but we got a new bed frame. So that's been fun. Metal bed frame. Got the little things at the top.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's just different stuff, you try. Just, yeah, figure out what works for you, what you like and what you don't like. I say that a lot because I don't want to give too many details, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Choosing each other every day, huh?
I was like, close out.
Yeah. I think choosing each other every day, that's definitely something that I emphasize to each other. I've said before, like that was the theme of our wedding was love is a choice. Like I think all too often people think love is a feeling when it's not always that. It's literally a choice. Like, in some days it'll be easier and some days it'll be harder, but you're choosing. And again, going back to what my mom said, you're choosing to love an imperfect person. Like, you're choosing to commit to an imperfect person, like, for a lifetime. And yes, there are ways out, but while we acknowledge that there is a way out, we don't want to have to choose that option. So knowing that it's there is okay, but also realizing that we are going to do everything within our power to work on it, to keep us together, because we really believe in each other, and our relationship is what kind of keeps us going forward. So yeah.
That was a beautiful wrap up.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, comment. Yes.
Please.
All of the above.
Please.
Yeah.
See y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye. Love y'all.